Tim Black.
But let me be clear. Donald Trump is running the most openly racist immigration regime in modern American history.
BS detected.
Racist immigration regime in modern American history.
Folks, Exhibit A. Exhibit A, Jasmine Crockett, lying again. Right off the break, see, to catch her, to be able to detect her BS, you have to be willing to stop her every sentence. You got to be willing to pull the plug, because if you let things slide, you'll be fooled. I'm serious, family. If you want to see behind the curtain, you got to be willing to slow down, Johnson. Because by slowing down, you see this. Here's my graph. I created this from data. When she said Donald Trump is overseeing the biggest, most racist, whatever, deportation thing in history, in modern world, I wanted to put together for you Obama's first term versus Trump's second. And I want you to see the number and the difference in numbers. There's a big difference there. Obama's first term through 2009 to 2012, the numbers are heavily disputed. Some say 527,000 deportations. Others say 300,000 deportations the first 10 months. Yeah. But this is what we have. Because when you go for the total 4 years for Obama, we have 1.5 million, almost, might as well say 1.6 million deportations. And we see that that's a far cry from where Trump is now with 300,000 projected, 360,000 projected deportations. There's a difference, a humongous difference. So what I'm saying here is that it's really obvious. If you want to be upset about the number of deportations just based on that alone and say that Trump is spearheading the biggest, most racist deportation spree in American history, well, Obama was just president. He wasn't president long ago. You think that Jasmine Crockett with a staff of, 5, 6 overworked shoe kissers wouldn't be able to pull up the information to give us accurate information? I mean, if that's going to be your opening line, that Donald Trump is supporting all these people like hotcakes, at least you could do is be right about the opening line out of your speech. But see, she's counting on no one in the media on CNN or MSNBC or MS Now or NPR, and none of the talking heads who are now independents, like Joy Reid or Don Lemon or Roland Martin, none of these people who don't even work for the system have the guts to even hit pause on her video, hit pause on her bullshit and say, hey, obviously, if you want to say Trump is the biggest deporter, you would have to say this week. He's the biggest deporter since he's been elected in the last year. Because he's the only person that can deport from America. It's under his office that deportations are happening now. Maybe that would be an accurate statement. It would be dumb because there's only one president at a time. Maybe you could say he's deported more people than Nancy Pelosi. And maybe then it would be an accurate statement. But to say it's the most, it's a pretty definitive statement to make, don't you think? Wouldn't you have to have those numbers right? Shouldn't they have to have the numbers right? I think they should have to have them right. when Democrats prioritize complaining about deportation over complaining about the issues that affect paying citizens, particularly Ms. Crockett, who is so wrapped in blackness, everything she says it under the guise of she's fighting for black people. And it's working with a lot of black people. I see it. I see morons on my timeline on every platform across the internet. But none will answer tough questions. They say she hasn't been in Congress long enough. Why are you holding her accountable? She doesn't. You don't need to take a civics class. What you're basically saying is she's useless. But shut up about talking about her because she has brown skin and she talks like you do. Damn the information that comes out of her mouth. Whether they're lies or true, fabrications or propaganda, gaslighting or insults, you don't care. In fact, throughout this speech that we're covering here, Jasmine Crockett, with immigrant coming out of her mouth, insulted all of Black America who are conscious enough to still have their own opinions, their own self-pride, their own dignity. Gaslit. Black folks being gaslit for 2 years for complaining about the immigration situation in America, for complaining about cities being overrun, for complaining about bad handling of cities, for complaining about Democrats not living up to their BS words. And they only listen when they say, listen to them. The black frustration is cross-generational. I'm proud to say I'm seeing older Black Americans just as pissed off as some of the more engaged Black Americans, young Black Americans, old Black Americans, middle, all across the spectrum. Boomer to Gen Z. Tired of the nonsense.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Donald Trump's mass deportation system makes me think of what a modern day slave patrol would look like. Slave patrols were armed groups empowered by the government to control, intimidate, and terrorize people solely based on color. That's what's happening now. Donald Trump is sending mass agents without warrants into communities of color to terrorize the people who live there. And the reason that I want to make sure that I draw out this link, because we heard Maxine say that Black and brown is coming together. I want to be clear about this. This should not just be the immigrant community. This should be all of us united, because we know united we stand, divided we fall. This should be all of us united, because we know united we stand, divided we fall. And unfortunately, this last election, we allowed ourselves.
I want my Black American people, I want y'all really to take a deep breath right here. Please take a deep breath right here. It's going to be very crucial. Oh, it's going to be super crucial that you pay attention right here, man. Yeah, this is what we need to slow down and savor this, because I need to make sure that we're crystal clear about what she just said. She said, Maxine Waters said, Black and brown people are coming together. My mic must not be working, because my chat ain't going off the Richter scale. Look like the regular number of comments to me. Damn. My internet connection must be funky. X didn't break. I didn't get a retweet, no notifications or retweets on that post. Facebook, I didn't get any repeats on that post. I'm not getting notified. Buck ain't texting me that the chat is gone bonkers. The woman just said, Black and brown people are united. Because Maxine Waters said, which to me denotes a sign that she ain't altogether sure she should be saying this shit, because she's putting it on Maxine. Maxine ain't sitting here talking though, is she? I don't care what Maxine said. It's what you're saying now. Don't put it on her. Maxine, 85 years old. That's somebody's great-grandma you putting it on. Nah, this stays with her. Black America, I need you to lock in with me. Lock in with me. Mike Tyson, lock in with me. Jasmine Crockett is talking a whole crock. She said, we need to not just be immigrants, man. All of y'all need to be mad. Who's she talking to? Then she went on to say, black and brown. Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is, it ain't nothing new what I'm about to tell you. We already know it. The Democrats want to use black people. We're the bullet catchers, the heat catchers, the movement leaders, the fall guys, the ones left holding the bag. And she's trying to sell you on everybody's in this. For some reason, I don't think it's a whole lot of Asians. For some reason, I don't think it's a whole lot of indigenous people. I'm just guessing that are really like losing sleep at night. Because some people cross the border and now they're getting deported. I mean, I know some of y'all feeling a certain kind of way right now. I know you are. You feeling a certain kind of way because you good people. You don't like her saying that to you. She's saying you need to stick up for other people. Why are you always worried about yourself? We got to rise together because we all know rising tide lifts all boats. We need to ride together. We can't, look, united we stand. Divided we fall. You know what, guys? Last time I checked, when it comes to unemployment rate, when it comes to home foreclosure rate, we by ourselves. At the bottom. Last time I checked, that's where we were. When it comes to incarceration rate, death rate, laid off rate, we at the bottom. I don't remember seeing +1 on the bottom. Reservation list. I didn't see a +1. I saw us. She telling you it ain't so, that it ain't so. She telling us, she telling all of us that nah, we gotta be united to solve this immigration thing that ain't got a damn thing to do with black Americans at all. As if we ain't got enough wrong. As if we don't got enough that we need to take care of. Some of us.
Because we know united we stand, divided we fall. And unfortunately, this last election, we allowed ourselves to be divided. Now, Ms. Velez, it's my understanding that you were detained by federal agents while you were on your way to work. Is that correct? Did any of these agents present you with a warrant?
No.
An explanation?
No.
Did they do anything other than illegally detain and arrest you?
Yeah.
This young lady here, her name is Miss Velez.
Arrest you.
Yeah.
Miss Velez is not in jail. Miss Velez looks free. Can the church say amen? Put a 1 up if you think Miss Velez looks like a free person. Put a 1 up if she's not in a jail cell. Is she coming to us via Facebook Live or Zoom from within the jail cell? Put a 1 up if it looks like she's sitting nice and free in a nice suit in a courtroom testifying on Capitol Hill. Put a 0 up if you think she in jail right now, getting beat with switches and hoses and dog sicked on her with an aluminum foil blanket. Let me know, please put it in the comment section, because sometimes my eyesight be waning. You know how it is. You know how I do. Sometimes I don't see as clearly. You know what I'm saying? Look to me like Miss Velez, for all her trouble, she a free person. That's what it looked like, which kind of defeats the purpose. Oh, okay, I get it. They picked her up, but they let her go. They picked her up, and they let her go. Would she whip people? What happened? Let's see the rest of the story. Let's get into the nooks and crannies of the story. I believe Miss Velez is free.
Was denied her constitutional rights, which we know she was supposed to enjoy in, just like those in our immigrant community. But this isn't just that this is the most openly racist immigration regime in modern day history. It is also the most violent and deadly immigration regime in decades. More people have died this year in ISIS custody than in any year since the early 2000s, and the year is not over.
BS detected.
Folks, I wanted to show you this graph because this graph, I could just post this and walk off. Yeah, I would feel confident after posting this. I could just post this and walk off because it's so devastating. It's so devastating, family. I feel like I should just walk off now. Jasmine Crockett was making the argument. Jasmine Crockett makes the argument that ICE detainees, the conditions in which they are incarcerated or detained are so deplorable, and lives are being lost at record numbers. That it is heinous, it is disgusting, it's foul, vile what's happening to these detainees who are going through this torment by our racist ass system. So you know what I did, fam? I went out and I crushed some data. I used a couple of large language models, used the available facts that were there when I had documents, what I could find. Then I put it through several platforms to come up with this. I looked at all ICE detainee deaths in the year 2024. You know what I found out, fam? A disgusting, despicable number of 12 detainees lost their lives, died while incarcerated. 12. And don't get me wrong, man, that's despicable. That is disgusting. That should not have happened. That should be avoided at all costs. I said, damn, that's a high number. But you know, we got to look at things in context. People die walking their doggy. You could die going to the grocery store. In fact, half that many black people died going to a grocery store Not too long ago, if I recall. What was it, the Top supermarket? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people. But I'm saying, when you put it in context, let's say now, let me not compare tragic events that happen like shootings by racists on black people. Let's look at the correctional system. And I didn't think it would be fair to use all UF prisons, all United States prisons to make this comparison. I said, let me just look at Texas. Let's just take a look at Texas, because that's what Jasmine Crockett got into Congress at. Fucking Texas. Jasmine Crockett wants you to believe she loves everybody, and she fighting for black Americans too. She fighting for everybody. This ain't got nothing to do with who gonna butter her biscuits, who gonna vote for her, or Democratic Party talking points. Family, I'm trying to tell you, when I looked at the number of Texas deaths, the number I came back was 176. Shut the front door. 176 deaths in 2024 in Texas prisons, compared to 12 across the country of people held by ICE. I'm talking about just one state. Now, that's her state. I may have missed it. But did Jasmine Crockett give a rant on the congressional floor, committee floor, about U.S. prisons and niggas? Maybe poor white niggas. Maybe poor Asian nigga. Somebody, like, black niggas, did she talk about anybody other than immigrants? Because it's the number, what was it? The infographic that I created, that I displayed, shows 15 times more deaths for U.S. citizens in Texas prisons than when they detained by ICE. 15 times. What I'm trying to tell you is, any black man that's in Texas prison should pray to go to an ICE detention center. The only country they can be sent back to is the United States, and they have a much more likely chance of surviving. That's what I'm trying to tell you. In fact, 15 times more likely chance of surviving if they go to an ICE detention center. And the reason why I felt like after this, I feel like I could just stop right there, man. I mean, while I was pulling up the information, family, I shit you not, I wanted somebody to see what I found. I yelled out, TJ, where you at, man? Son, come look at this. I sounded like Po Folk the Entertainer off TikTok. Come look at this. I started sounding like a kid in the candy store. A kid who just found his favorite cartoon. He just saw some crazy prank on his TikTok. My son was gone. He went out with his friends. He has a life. He left. I said, damn, Mrs. Black, you gotta see it. She busy doing stuff with food. Because I knew that information I just found was so damning that only the thickest propaganda-infected zombie by the Democrats, propaganda machine, would be able to withstand the facts that I'm delivering to them. I mean, they'd have to have such propaganda antibodies built up to fight the new information. Like, they would have to, the propaganda would have to have metastasized in their body from the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the liberal talking heads to such a point that my chemotherapy of accurate, pinpoint, undeniable, unflappable information. Fam, all I'm saying is, if you don't look at Jasmine Crockett with a side eye after that shit, after that, folks, this is why they didn't tell you how many people died in ICE detainment. When a politician is telling you these numbers, they throwing numbers out, they're not giving you context. She didn't even mention. She said it set a record. 12? A record could be by one. It could be one more than it was in 2009 that year. You understand what I'm saying? In 2009, there was 11 deaths, and this year, in 2024, there were 12. Trump just set a record. But if you compare prisons to prisons, what are we doing here? But see, they want to gas, she wants to gas, not they, Jasmine Crockett wants to gaslight Black Americans. They want you to be so, because everybody knows, Black people are the most caring. When you come from the type of pain that we've come from, that we've endured as a people, we have this protective mechanism, some of us, in us. And I don't want that to go away. I don't want that to disappear. But you got to understand when that can be your Achilles heel. That can be your entry. The entry zone for what destroys you. Because they know your vulnerability. They know they got the cheat code on you. You don't want other people to suffer. I get that. That's a very human, empathetic thing to take. What I'm telling you is Jasmine Crockett is exploiting that. She's exploiting Blackness, and she's exploiting your tendency to be biblical. Black Americans are the most God-fearing people in the country by racial group. We go to church the most. We practice organized religion the most. So, per capita. So, she's working that machine on you, fam. I would end it there, but I'm not going to end it there because we got more to say. We got more to expose. Let's go hear the rest of Jasmine Crockett. But that's damning right there, fam. We talking just in Texas.
Ms. Kozlowski, talk to me about the disturbing reports of unsanitary and inhumane conditions, which are partly responsible for the increase in deaths at the federal detention facilities.
The conditions that we see in the federal detention centers, from holding facilities to facilities across the country, are absolutely deplorable. They are deadly, as you have pointed out. But we see conditions where people are denied medical care, where people are harmed while in custody, where people are held.
People of color for decades. I want y'all to understand this is who he is. This is an actual feature of what it is to be Donald Trump. Instead of a flaw, he demanded the execution of innocent Black boys. He has been sued many times for racial discrimination. He called African nations shithole countries. He said that, quote, immigrants poison the blood of our country. And he's repeatedly refused to denounce white supremacy. In fact, he's hired many white supremacists to work in this administration. In modern American history,
BS detected.
Racist immigration regime in modern American history. And terrorize people solely based. Deportation system makes me think of what a modern day slave patrol would look like. Slave patrols were armed groups empowered by the government to control, intimidate, and terrorize people solely based on color. That's what's happening now. Donald Trump is sending mass agents without warrants into communities of color to terrorize the people who live there.
I don't know how I forgot this part. I'm sorry, fam. My apologies. Yes, the slave patrol. I mean, they're exactly like slave patrols. ICE officers executing the will or the laws of our immigration enforcement. It's just like Slave Patrol. What's different about it, Tim? Damn, I don't know if there is a difference at all, Johnson. Let's see what we got. Hold tight. Do I have anything that proves there's a difference? I got so many pieces of paper here. Oh, here it goes. I just jotted down a couple things that are different, that make it different, what ICE officers are doing. Well, Crockett said deportations of slave patrols, that's not just wrong, it's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face for every Black American from descendants of slavery, or descendants of those who were enslaved, or those who were formerly enslaved. However you want to place it, fam. Slave patrols hunted people who were considered property. Deportations, damn it, deportations remove people who are not citizens. I have a video right now on Facebook. That video is over 500,000. Actually, I'm being modest. It was past 6 a few hours ago. I stopped looking. It's a short video. So, but it gets right to the point. It says Jasmine Crockett is full of shit. Slave patrols and ICE detention officers are not even in the same universe, Johnson. ICE patrols and slave patrols and ICE officers and slave catchers are not even in the same universe. They're not even in the same galaxy. Slave patrols, they enforce slavery. Duh! They enforce slavery. They prevent slave revolts and recapture human property. That's what they did. ICE officers enforce immigration laws, visa overstays, and unauthorized entry. Slave patrols targeted Black people, enslaved or free, based purely on race. ICE officers target non-citizens of all nationalities. Deportations return individuals to their homeland, their home country, not someone else's private ownership. Family, that's the worst. And in the case that she brought in her hearing was a woman who was detained and let go and is still in America. You know, I'm talking a whole lot about Jasmine Crockett, but this ain't just about Jasmine Crockett. This is their big winner. This is their big hitter. They consider Jasmine Crockett to be the spokesperson, the example, the hero of the Democratic Party, the vocal person with the power, the fire, the fury to bring it to Trump. Fam, I don't know if she's bringing it to Trump, but she damn sure is throwing Black people under the bus. And she's using Black pain and suffering to do it, and she's using our story. All off base. She done crossed the line. She ain't just a habitual line stepper. She's an habitual liar, gaslighter, and arrogant fixer for the Democrats. That's what she is. But it ain't just about her. Lord knows it ain't about her. We didn't know who she was 4 years ago. I was reminded today, she a freshman. She just got started, Tim. Okay, fine. So it ain't just about her, is it? It's about all those people that enable her, all those people that make it possible for her to do what she is doing. And what I'm trying to tell you is, Black America is not going for it. They may silence me on X, which is crazy. They may try to bury this on YouTube, but the word is getting out. The word is getting out that this type of bullshit won't stand. The exaggeration that Jasmine Crockett uses in order to support these immigrant, undocumented, illegal immigrants, to me, is past just crossing the line. It just shows the manipulation that they're willing to do. Notice that the Democrats, they don't go as far as to say, hey, it's just like Jewish Americans in the Holocaust. It's just like the way we're rounding them up and giving them showers. It's the same thing. Why don't they do that? Because Jewish people have something called the ADL. They have something else called money. And they would sue. And they have the power collectively to get a Jasmine Crockett out of office. They've got people out of office for less. Paging Cory Bush and Jamal Bowman, please. Please report to the promenade deck. Your fries are ready. See what I'm saying? We need to put them all on notice right now. That's what this show's doing. We putting, not just Jasmine Crockett, we're going to put all these Democrats on notice that we are coming for you when you come for us. Black people need an anti-defamation league themselves. It ain't going to come from no Congressional Black Caucus. It ain't going to come from no Urban League. It ain't going to come from Jesse Jackson or Reverend Al Sharpton. It's got to come from us. Maybe there should be a rule. If you're worth over 50 grand, you can't come, because it seemed like anybody with money too concerned with losing it. Maybe it's got to be a real poor people's movement, but not led by you. Or anybody getting cut checks from the Democratic Party. Reverend Barber, I'm talking to you. Too close. You too close to the system. Can't be you. Can't be you. I know you know your Bible. I said I know you know your Bible, sir. Do you know us? See, what they try to hide in moments like this is the truth. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to be exposing them. For somebody to come out here and put up on a live stream, just how many people died in detention? Just how many more people that were deported under Obama as they make these grand claims? And it doesn't mean you're a Trump supporter. But if you are, who gives a shit? That ain't the question. Doesn't matter who you support. It matters what the truth is. It matters if you can be trusted. If those people that are up there talking and gaslighting are lying to us or not. That's what matters. That's what matters. Trump already in office. He already won, dummies. Cut the shit with, oh, we got to still make this about Trump. He already won. The game over. You still lying. You don't get policies, you get lectures. You get blamed. They still blaming us for Kamala. Jasmine Crockett still blaming us for Kamala. Every chance they get, they're still sliding that in, ain't they? They're still sliding it in. I heard Tiffany Cross still sliding it in on the segment of CNN, still talking about it. Won't let it go. I mean, what the hell did Kamala promise Angela Rye? Angela cry and Tiffany lost. What did he promise these people? Must have been something big. Then it all crashed out. They coming for our necks over their loss. You get told how you should feel. That's a bad mofo. Tell you how to feel about something, ain't it? You shouldn't feel this way. You should feel like, it's united we fall. It's united we stand. Divided we fall. You shouldn't feel like you shouldn't feel like this isn't your fight. You should feel like it is your fight, because every time there's your fight, there they are doing what they doing. They weren't even in this country. They weren't even here. What are you talking about? How can you say we need to be united with people who are not even from America? That's the whole point. Oh, we got to be united with the globe now. You weren't talking this way. They weren't talking this way when Gaza was getting blown to smithereens and kids was being starved. They probably still are. We're talking that way when Congo was being eviscerated, the people of Congo being eviscerated. I ain't hear him talking like that. I ain't hear him talking like, oh my God, we need to all be united. Nah, this is all a corporate play. This is for money, for low prices, and for cheap labor, and a voting base that's beholden to the Democratic Party. That's what it is. You need me to say it for you again, because I got to make sure you got it, Johnson. You got to stop falling for the banana. It's like your car is sitting there and a person has a whole box of bananas and you're watching them. Hey, look at him walk up with the bananas. He got a bunch of bananas, baby. Why he walking to my car? Look at him. He got a bunch of bananas. What are you going to do with them bananas? I don't know, baby. What are you going to do? Dad, he's taking one of the bananas out his hand, out his bag. Look at him. He's kneeling behind my exhaust pipe. Look at that. What do you think he do? I don't know. Film it, baby, film it. I feel like that's what we're going through there. I feel like that's what's happening. We are watching it in slow motion take place. And instead of saying, hey, I'm seeing them put bananas in my tailpipe, we got people going, no, you didn't. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No, you didn't. You didn't see that. That's not what you saw. You saw democracy. Family, we got to do better. The Crockett fallout has begun. I said the Crockett fallout has begun because it's time. It's just your time. It's just your turn. Crockett been riding, reckless, drunk, driving with no hands, playing loud ass Vanilla Ice. With some old ass Mad Dog 2020, some Long Island iced tea in her pocket with some naughty head. In a couple cases, a red Schlitz malt liquor, not the blue, the red one. couple bumpers of St. Ives. She's stuck in the 90s. And what I'm trying to tell you is that ain't the type of politics we falling for over here. We ain't going for it no more. So it's time for the fallout. Wolfpack, let me hear what the Wolfpack's saying, man. What's up, Wolfpack? Where are we at, Wolfpack? If this is making any sense to you, can I get a 1 in the comments section, please? I like to make sure all this truth bombing is having some effect. Is it making any sense? Am I off balance? If I'm wrong, give me a 0. But if I'm right, give me a 1. If it's making sense, give me a 1. See, I tend to believe Crockett been doing too much. I tend to believe that Crockett has blown more than a sprocket, that she is in the pocket of them people. I need to know what my audience is saying, what my Tim Black Wolfpack people are saying in the chat. Here goes one. Black Rose says Democrats defending the illegals and migrants, not FBA. Where are the congressional hearings regarding these injustices? I'm trying to tell you, fam, when I was reading about the prisons, I'd already known. You know what I'm saying? I've covered deaths in prisons, suffocation, people dying of heat stroke, tortures, literal torturing in our prisons, people eaten by rats in our prison. And I don't hear them. I don't ever see Maxine Waters with a bunch of reporters around her going to a local prison or a state pen to check on black people or any U.S. citizen. But I have to go out now. We have to go out into the ICE detention centers. We have to go now because Trump is an evil bastard, and we have to call them out now. Fam. Listen to this. Do not say this around 96% of our sisters. Houston, we got a problem. Dances with vegans. You know what, though? I think that number's a little high, fam. Yeah, I think the number's a little high. That's super high. Yeah. They probably want her to be president. No. No, you don't get to have her as president. No. Keep calling these fake so-called black leaders for the slow pokes in the back. We doing it, fam. They don't want to be free. They don't want to be free, fam. I got a couple ones. Cross Cuzzo Show TV in the house. Thank you, Cross. Thank you, Cuzzo. Thank you, Cuzzo Show. Appreciate you, fam. Shout out to the Cuzzo Show TV.
We stand with you and we stand with the rest of this country. Thank you so much.
Next up, with Tim Black.
Two Latino construction workers said the quiet part out loud.
95% of the people out here is brown.
Black men didn't suddenly stop wanting to work. Black men got replaced.
A lot of people don't realize how this affects the economy. Who's gonna finish building this building if everyone that is capable of doing it is getting taken?
Next up, with Tim Black.
This administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable. And when we do those things, I believe that we can take the undocumented workers, the illegal aliens who are here, get them out of the shadows, make sure that they are subject to a stiff penalty, make sure that they're learning English, make sure that they go to the back of the line so they're not getting an advantage over people who came here legally. And when we do that, I think that we can, instead of shedding all this heat, start shedding some light on the problem, and we can once again be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's what I intend to do as president of the United States.
Yeah. You know, when you hear Barack Obama talk like that, it encourages you to realize that you ain't crazy. You know, when you hear people say things, I know in the past I've heard people say things like, I didn't change. I didn't move right. The Democratic Party moved on me. When you hear people say things like that, we got people that don't know shit who say that person's lying. They say that person's lying. Oh, no. No. These were the Democrats. Not only was these the Democrats, they still are the Democrats. This was their talking points, which leads me to another point. The saddest thing about it is you determine very quickly as you watch these clips, fam, you realize most of the people that vote, they don't really know what they're voting for, nor do they really care. Whatever sounds good, sounds good. They don't really give a shit about policy. They can be talked into anything. In 2008, the jostling between Clinton and Obama was, part of it was over healthcare, the other part was over immigration. Who was going to be tougher on immigration? 2008, not that long ago. Less than 20 years ago. That's what it came down to. And if you talk like this now, you're not a Democrat, you're Donald Trump. For us, it's got to be about the policy and how it impacts us. Obama just gave you the reasons. The reasons are the suppression of wages. And he looked at it from the corporate standpoint of these employers want to pay less money. Bottom line.
Only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration. It's plain and simple and unavoidable.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they...
I wonder, what about due process, Hillary?
If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
As to illegal aliens, we agree with you that we do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
Next up with Tim Black.
You know, yeah, okay. One of the things I discovered is that when you had this type of concepts where you are being very firm about a topic like immigration, you're going to have people that agree with you who you might not agree with on a lot of other stuff. And I think that's part of the reason why some people are really hesitant to stand on business. Yeah, like for instance, when I called out Jasmine Crockett, it was mostly because this immigration situation impacts black people to such a high degree. People just don't want to admit it. Though in that clip I played you earlier, construction workers, Latino construction workers, Latino American construction workers who show up to work, and because of ICE raids, many of their co-workers, 95% of them, who are undocumented, couldn't come to work. They were afraid. This idea that black Americans wouldn't work those jobs. This idea that all black Americans would rather be driving Ubers or Lyft or working at Amazon warehouses instead of working on construction sites, doing plumbing or electrical work is bogus. Instead of everyone agreeing with me on those terms, because those are my terms. Those are the symptoms. Those are the reasons why I feel the way I feel. Those drive my policy because it impacts us in such a negative way. I'm advocating for people who are I'm advocating for people who are catching the most hell in this country right now. Working class people and black Americans. That's what I'm advocating for. And I wish that everybody who saw that video, who saw me rip Jasmine Crockett for that, would feel the same way about it for the same reasons. But that's a luxury. That's a luxury I can't worry about, isn't it? Yeah, I can't worry about if they agree with me for the right reasons. I gotta get my message out. My reasons are very clear. It's not because I think these are shithole countries or I think these are bad people and they're rapists or whatever or crazy shit or because of course I don't even have to mention the bunch of knuckle-dragging Captain Caveman bigots that were in my comment section making all types of racist statements about Jasmine based on her race, all the trolls or whatever those were. But that's going to happen no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the issue is. It's going to be that. America's going to America. But that doesn't mean I got to be worried to the point where I don't want to voice my opinion, that I don't want to be the most dangerous show in America. I don't want to, because some people might agree with me who I don't agree with when it comes to memes. Yeah, hey, I shit you not. I had somebody come up on my channel. Oh, look at the people that you got hanging around your channel. Well, you know what? If you have a video, if you ever produce anything in this world, sir, that 1 million people see, some of them people gonna be people you don't know. Because guess what? You don't know 1 million people. Hell, as someone who's been doing this for 13, 14, 15 years, who has gone viral multiple times, 99% of the people that was in my comment section didn't even know who the fuck I was. They weren't friends of mine. But whatever it was in that video, they agreed with that. They agreed with that. When you go watch the movie, you don't know Robert De Niro, dumbass. But see, we have these people. It's a mechanism. They want me to feel a certain kind of way about peer pressure. And they're talking to the wrong one. Because I'm not in it for the same reasons you think I am. I had a father who worked 50 years for a construction company. When he started, it was 85% black, the workers. When he left, it was 5% black. One of his coworkers reached out to me on a video and said, I worked with your dad for 30 years. My mom found out the guy reached out. I let my sister know. My sister told my mom, this guy who worked with dad for 30 years was in the comment section. Knew his name, knew everything. I didn't give out his name, his full name. He knew everything. And where he worked. And he said so many glowing things about my dad, about the concrete, the buildings there that they erected. She said, well, it's got to be this person. She named one guy. You know why she could only name one? She could name one guy. She said, because he had a picture. It was a black kid. It was a picture of a black kid in his avatar. She said, that must be XYZ. Because his group, his crew of men was so Hispanic that there could only be one guy. That could be if that guy was black. Because we've been pushed out of that industry. We got people to this day that, I don't want to be mean to anyone. Motherfucker, your inability to stand up for black people means we get to be treated meanly. We get to be mistreated because you are so cowardly you couldn't stand up for us. So as Jasmine Crockett makes her play that we need to be united, we must stand united, or we gonna fall divided, black people done already failed. That's what's so ironic about it. We've already failed. And they didn't stand with us. Jasmine Crockett, her successors, her predecessors didn't stand for us. That border wouldn't have been open. She said Biden was better than her dad. She wished her dad loved her the way Biden loved his son. And that Biden loved us so much, he brought in more people to take more black jobs from black men. You can't be worried about social pressure. You can't be worried about what people think about you. You got to stand on business. You got to stand up for what's right. And you got to do that all the time. Jasmine Crockett may not know who I am, but she gonna feel it. She gonna feel it because when you go viral, the word travels. And the word is these gatekeepers, these hypocrites, these backstabbers. It'd be one thing if they just advocated for immigrants. But that ain't enough, is it? They gotta use us to do it. And that's when it gets personal. Fam, there are people that want to save the trees. I love trees. Save the trees. Save the rainforest. There's somebody trying to save sea otters. Save them. Somebody else talking about recycling. Great. Great. You want to misappropriate an indigenous person, pretend they're crying when a piece of trash hits the ground? Fine. I'll leave it to the native group to sue the shit out of you, and I'll support them when they do. But I have no problem with you advocating for migrants. I have no problem with you advocating for undocumented migrants. I don't give a shit, fine. But you will not use us to do it. You will not use us to do it. You will not do that in our name. You will not use black people to do it. And I'm going to do everything I can with my platform to say, black people, you have to wake up. They're not your friends. They're the friends of the corporations. Any black person. It's only two things they could be at this point, fam. I'm telling you, the Latino workers who are not coming to work, the ones that are coming to work are complaining because they can't do the job because there's not enough Latinos left. Because they were 95% of the workforce at the sites. That should tell you everything you need to know. Those companies weren't hiring black people, or the work would still be getting done, wouldn't it? Those companies are not hiring poor white people or working class white people. They're hiring one group of people. Why? It ain't that hard to figure out. Nobody's a super moron. Some of us are on that spectrum, but we can count. Some of us got trauma in our lives, but we can count. We know what 95% is, a whole lot, right? There you go. We can't let them take our eye off the ball here. It's very simple. They're not our friends. Black America isn't confused. We're insulted. Difference. We're tired and we're done playing the scapegoat for the political parties. Political parties that won't say our names unless it's to scold us or it's to use us to help somebody else out. And then pile on guilt and shame and intimidation if we don't. Nah. No. It's time we got clarity. And tonight we reclaim the narrative. Tonight we reclaim the narrative. My Jasmine Crockett video, however well it does, it's only one video. It's only one match. The fuel was already there. I just lit that one match. It didn't go viral because I'm a great guy. It went viral because Jasmine Crockett is wrong. And other people agree she is wrong. And the Democrats are wrong. And they are liars. And they are manipulating us. Someone just needed to say it honestly. It's time to fight fire with fire. All right, folks. I got one last segment I'd like to do before we go today on this special post-Thanksgiving show.
I want to honor someone we just lost. Mother Viola Fletcher, the oldest survivor of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, has died at 111 years old. Wow. She testified before Congress at 107 years old in 2021 about the massacre that destroyed her community when she was 7 years old. She spent her life speaking out against violence and advocating for reparations for survivors and their families. Rest in power.
111.
Yeah, there's only one more survivor, and she's also 111, but she is 6 months younger than Mother Fletcher. And
Boy,
so
I'll have what they're having.
One more survivor.
You really want to live that long?
111 years?
Yeah.
If you look how good she looks. She was testifying in Congress 5 years ago.
I know, well, that's her.
Okay.
Not everybody ages like that.
I want to age like you.
BS detected.
Shout out to Rhonda for sending me a reminder after last night's show or Wednesday show. Wednesday. Reminded me about this story. I got so caught up I did not cover it. I want to cover it now. Rest in power to Viola Fletcher. Miss Viola Fletcher. I just want to say, this segment was garbage. It'd be hard to make a segment that wasn't more garbage than that. Not only did they whitewash what the woman stood for, I mean, the first thing that jumped out of my head was the woman lived 111 years and she still didn't live long enough to get justice. That's sitting right there. That line's sitting right there. As a broadcaster, that line is there for anybody who's a part of the craft. Sonny's been doing these shows for 20 years. That line was sitting right there. And she's got professional writers. They didn't use it because this show is not about setting it up for us. It's about using us. What'd they do? Make it funny. They made it funny. They made it a joke. They made it ha-ha. Look how good she looks. And then they went to the place that so many black women allow white people to go. Vanity. Vanity. Yeah, I got to tell you, sisters, this is what it is. Too many times you fall for the okie doke when it comes. All it takes is someone to compliment you. All one of the whites got to do is compliment your hair or your voice or tell you you look nice, and it's a wrap. This time it was, black don't crack. Black don't crack. A lot of blacks cracked in Tulsa. They cracked, they bled, they died. And if you couldn't say a fucking word about it, instead it was a ha-ha-ha, if only I could look that good. It's just so well spoken. You know, when we're pointing out that Sunny Hostin is not a black American, we're pointing out not just, I can't speak for everybody. Let me not speak for everybody. When I'm pointing out that Sunny Hostin is not a black American, I'm not pointing that out because I have a problem with Puerto Ricans. I'm not pointing it out because her dad's black or whatever, whoever said, whatever it is. I don't care. Some of us believe that black people stand up for black people. We know that to be bullshit. Hence the Congressional Black Caucus. Hence Jasmine Crockett and Clyburn. Hence Tim Scott. Hence so many, many others. We can just keep naming motherfuckers, right? But I think we have to more collectively continue to grow and realize all skinfolk ain't kinfolk, and not just say that, but embrace what it means fully. Family. A black city, a black town was bombed by whites who were just jealous that we went off on our own after slavery to a place where we could kind of be away from violence, away from whites, and build our own shit. And we did such a good job of building our own shit, they became jealous, came and destroyed it and took it. They killed our women and our women and men and children. They stole out of our homes, and then they burnt them to the ground. It was the first case. where an airplane was used to drop bombs on our own country under the agreement and in conjunction with the police. So when Jasmine Crockett talks about ICE officers being slave patrols, nah. She could have been talking about this. She could have talked about how cops drop bombs on black people, not migrants. Racist cops and racist, bigoted, jealous assholes killed and bombed out of city. And the last one of two survivors couldn't see any justice directly when they were directly the people there. I'm gonna leave that there, fam. Now you can tell me we got time to be worried about some migrants. We got time to worry about people who are undocumented in a country they shouldn't have been in, that they weren't born in, because if they were born here, they're citizens. Right? Okay, no matter how they got here, if you're born here, you're a citizen. But we don't got time to worry about that. We'll allow the rest of you liberals to deal with that. We can't even get the people affected by a state-sanctioned bombing, terroristic act, where police officials of the state took part to even compensate the people who were affected. We can't even get that accomplished. We can't even get justice in that case. And we got to hear about, we need to be united or we'll be divided. How many migrants lost sleep today over Viola, Miss Viola Fletcher, over Tulsa? My name is Tim Black. You're watching the most dangerous show in America. I want to thank you for joining me today. Let's keep our foot on their necks, Johnson. We just getting started. We're making changes. I want to thank all my people that came out to this live stream. Thank you, moderators, for doing what you do. Bug Bewley, the one and only Ebony, the magnificent Black Mamba, for doing what you do. Thank you to Tim Black's Wolfpack. Look, all digital downloads will be available to my Tim Black Wolfpack members. I got to hook up my members to become a member. It's only $5. Go to jointimblack.com. That's jointimblack.com. Become a member. Become dangerous. Part of the dangerous crew. Let's do this. You got to have weapons, and our weapons are information. Come get yours. I got nothing but love for y'all. Remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread, Johnson. And always, 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 damn it, always stay dangerous. All right. Yeah. Stay dangerous.
Now